Our next guest says that tech, anytime it makes a little bit of a dip, you want to buy the dips. In fact, I think he says we should pounce on them. I'm going to bring in Real Talk Capital CEO Rob Luna. So, Rob, last night I'm doing my work, and I'm looking at the NASDAQ 100, and it looks like, man, it got creamed. And then I pull up the chart, and in the grand scheme of things, I had to squint. I had to squint to see it a little bit. It was a 2% move, but on the chart, it's like this. So the question is, what is a dip? What would constitute a dip right now for these markets that have been on fire?
Yeah, I think, Charles, you got to look at some of the individual names. We had two companies that just reported, Netflix and Tesla, got absolutely crushed. But when you take a look at, like you said, the bigger picture, these stocks have absolutely been on fire. That uptrend has not changed. You look at Tesla today, that's actually bouncing back. A little bit more pressure on Netflix, but I think if you're getting, like in the idea of Netflix, 15 to 20% on a company with a long-term growth thesis like Netflix does, this is the time you got to step in and buy those if you haven't been in those names already.
So I guess the caveat you would have to add then, maybe increased volatility?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, when you're looking at these NASDAQ names, especially after they run a little bit, there's going to be a little bit of volatility in there. But that's why, Charles, when you're putting together an investment portfolio like most people should, you shouldn't be all tech, you shouldn't be all staples, you shouldn't be all utilities. And when you look at days like yesterday when those names got hammered, or even today, some of those other names are doing well. So it's about balance and liking names and themes across the universe, not just in one sector.
Speaking of a sector that I know you like also, under maybe a little pressure, recently up today, Palo Alto Networks, CrowdStrike, the cybersecurity space. I mean, we're pulling up some of those charts right now. CrowdStrike I was in coming into the year, I mean, annihilated. We added some more. We're still underwater. That's how far down the stock got hammered. So when we have a name like that you believe so strongly in the fundamentals, do you bother to put in a stop, or do you just say, hey, if it just gets creamed to a certain point, I'm going to add more?
Yeah, I really like that question, Charles, and that comes down to your perspective. Trading and investing are two different things. I gave up trading years ago. I'm not that great at it. Long-term investing has worked really well for me and my clients. And when I take a look at long-term themes, what's going on with Web 3.0 and everything that's associated with that, cybersecurity is going to become increasingly more important. When you look at Palo Alto, when you look at CrowdStrike, those are not unobvious names that you're going to look back 10, 15 years from now and say, God, why didn't I load the boat on those types of companies? They're going to be around here. They're going to be doing well. These are the times you got to buy those companies. Close your ears. Cybersecurity is going nowhere. Those are two leaders.
All right, let's talk. I got a minute to go. You've got three other non-tech names that you like. JP Morgan is one. I think it speaks for itself. Everyone knows the company. It feels like it's really moved into the spot being the preeminent large stock Wall Street play. Mosaic, I hadn't heard a lot about recently, and WP Carney, I had not heard a lot about recently. Tell us why you like those.
Yeah, I mean, Mosaic, probably that's the big one. What I like about that, again, long-term thesis is agriculture's going nowhere. There's a few leaders. Mosaic is one of them. And when you can buy a best-in-breed company on a pullback where you don't catch a falling knife, but it's setting up an inverse head and shoulders pattern, and you've got insider buying there for the first time in a long time, I like Mosaic. I think that's got 10 to 15% upside. WP Carey, a leader in the REIT space. REITs have gotten hit. This one's yielding over 6%, but pristine portfolio with not a lot of the bad debt issues that a lot of these REITs are tackled with. So that's where it comes into doing your homework, understanding what you're buying. WP Carey and Mosaic, I like a lot.
Right, and for those at home, REITs, Real Estate Investment Trust, known for paying out big fat dividends. The big worry there has been the commercial real estate part of it. If you look in them and they don't have a lot of office, but they have other things where people are going and spending their money, to Rob's point, could be a big win. Rob, have a great weekend, my friend. Thank you.
Thanks. You too, Charles.